Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, deep in the heart of the whispering waves, there lived a mermaid who couldn't swim. Her name was Amara, which ironically meant strong swimmer in their language. How could a mermaid not be able to swim? You're probably wondering. Well, you see, Amara was born with a rare condition. Her tail, instead of being a powerful fin that could propel her through the water, was more like a decorative accessory. It was beautiful, yes, shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow, but it didn't help her swim at all. All the other mermaids in her school could zoom and twirl and flip with ease, but Amara could only awkwardly flop. This made her very unhappy. She longed to swim like the others, to feel the freedom of movement they had, to explore the coral reefs and shipwrecks beyond her little cove. But fear kept her from trying. What if she got stuck somewhere and couldn't escape? What if she drowned? What if the other mermaids laughed at her? So she stayed close to shore, hiding her useless tail under a big rock, and befriended a hermit crab named Shelly. Now, Shelly was a wise old crab who'd seen many a mermaid come and go, and he was very fond of Amara. He'd often say, "Amara, my dear, why do you hide your beautiful tail? It may not be good for swimming, but it sure is a sight to behold." Amara would just sigh and reply, "I know, Shelly, but I'm just not a very good swimmer. I'd rather stay here where it's safe." One day, though, a terrible storm came. The waves crashed angrily against the rocks. The wind howled like a hungry wolf. Little Amara was terrified. As the other mermaids took shelter, she found herself swept away from her cove and tossed into the churning sea. "Oh!" she cried, as she struggled to keep her head above the water. "Oh, please, somebody help me!" Suddenly, she heard a familiar voice. "Hold on to my shell!" Amara shouted Shelly as he scuttled over to her and offered her his home. Quickly, Amara grabbed onto Shelly's shell, and though the ride was bumpy, he managed to drag her back to the safety of a cove without getting washed away himself. When the storm had passed and the sun peeked out from behind the clouds, all the mermaids came out to see if anyone had been hurt. They were shocked to find Amara and Shelly together. "Shelly, why didn't you let me drown?" she asked him upset. "Drown? Are you crazy? I thought you could swim," said Shelly, blinking his big eyes. I can't," stammered Amara, realizing she had been lying to herself and everyone else about her swimming abilities. I've always been afraid. Afraid of what you might say. Afraid of what I might do. Afraid of never being as good as you." The other mermaids crowded around her, and she braced herself for ridicule. But instead, they reached out and took her hands. "We've all been afraid of something at some point," Amara said, the kindest one. "It's all right to be scared, but you can't let that stop you from trying to do what you love, what you want to do." And that's when Amara knew she had to try to swim. Taking a deep breath, she pushed off the ground and began to kick her tail. It was awkward at first, but then something amazing happened. The other mermaids started to sing. They sang about the beauty of the ocean, the joy of swimming, the thrill of exploring. And their voices, like the waves, crashed over Amara, pushing her forward. For the first time, she felt the freedom she had always dreamed of. For the first time, she was a strong swimmer. From that day on, Amara swam with the other mermaids every chance she got. She learned that even though her tail wasn't the best for swimming, it didn't mean she couldn't do it. All she needed was a little help from her friends and a lot of courage within herself. As for Shelly, he was very proud of his friend and never let her forget that the best swimmers also have hearts full of courage.